yesterday, well, let me back up. So when I first did my license and inspection, my inspector was nice enough to give me like a list of absolutely must do, don't do. I didn't remember all of it and I couldn't find my list, but I knew there was like something that she said absolutely don't do, or don't take a patient unless you have XYZ. So I called her yesterday and was like, what was that thing you said never to do? And it was to accept a patient without a service authorization. Well, as of yesterday, I had not seen a service authorization. I didn't have one, and no one was answering my calls to be able to get that and confirm. So I called the home the patient was coming from and explained to him, I haven't physically seen a service authorization yet, and I'm thinking of postponing the move. And they were 100%, they understood, because they've been dealing with this industry for over 25 years. So they're like, definitely, we'll wait, get your service authorization. So after a flurry of emails, phone calls, and voicemails, this morning around 12 o'clock, I finally got a copy of the service authorization. And basically what you're looking for is just to make sure that this has gone through APD's system and you have approval. So I'm on these documents, I'm looking for approved and the name of my agency. This makes sure that you receive payment. Otherwise, if you accept a patient into your home without having an approved service authorization, whenever it does get authorized, they're not gonna back pay you. So you will just have been providing free services for however long that patient was there before you got the actual approval. So now that I have it, I'll finish putting together my first patient folder and pray to God we don't screw it up.
I'm going to introduce you to her, so that's why it's Allison right there. She's a nurse. There's a CNA right there. And then this lady right here, she's Antoinette. I'm going to text you her number. You need to put it in the phone and take mine out, okay? not that I don't love you and want to talk to you, but I don't know anything about you after today, okay? It's been a while. Been a long time with you and 15 years, yes ma'am, right around there, sure enough. Okay. Let's see if I can get you up here. Hang on a second.
Here's to the next 15 years.
So right now we're receiving our patient, and he came from a larger provider in the area, and we're just communicating with the staff about the understanding that we have from other providers in the space and how there is an underserved community in the broader home healthcare environment. And so most people focus on children, you know, up to age 18. This specific business changed their policy to do that. And then you have assisted living with, you know, your memory care, 75 plus and what have you. But there's a large gap of underserved individuals in that, you know, 25 to 55 range. And so right now we're just speaking about how we see an opportunity to, you know, step into that gap and service those individuals where they are that are often overlooked.
Nursing homes were just not a good fit for our kids.
Yeah.
So we have just hung on to them and hung on to them.
You know, we've heard that from the conversation we've had with different providers that there's just really
Well, my understanding is, you know, they have a gerontologist there as their, like, house doctor. Well, that's for, I don't want to say end-of-life care, but gerontology, you know, that's your older people. They're not interested in, you know, people who may still be seeing a specialist, you know, in the peds world. Well, not really in the peds world anymore. But these guys are still, they, you know, plugged into like pulmonary, GI, or whatever. The gerontologist is like one-stop shop doctoring.
Okay.
You know, so they're like, yeah, this is not us.
So there's really a gap in the middle.
There's a gap in our medical world. Yeah, it's the gap between like 25 and 60.
Okay. That's what we were hearing. And
so that's why we had some 30-year-olds, Because some of our kids come to us at like age 10, because what's happened is we have maybe helped support them in their home care setting, because we do equipment and, you know, we used to do private duty nursing. We don't do that so much anymore. Pretty much just for there was a day when we did do private duty. So we were servicing them with equipment and supplies and formula and pharmacy and all of that. The kids who get to be 10 to 12 years old, all of a sudden now they're heavier.
Yeah.
The parents are sadder because it's 10 to 15 years since they've been dealing with a situation that may not have ever gotten better. And then their support staff, you know, the grandparents who may have been helping, they're 10 to 15 years older and may even need care of themselves. So now they need help. And so because we had kind of always been in the background helping them, we would take those kids into our pavilion at age 10, 15. So that's how we would take on some of our older kids. But most of our kids come from the NICU and from the ICU, drownings, car wrecks, tragedies.
Considering the gap in the medical world, servicing people from the ages of 20 to 45, and how a lot of facilities cater to youth and the elderly individuals, right? So you just heard that the elderly facilities are not equipped with the medical staff to meet the needs of these middle-aged individuals, and also a lot of facilities have changed to have age caps, so children phase out of the homes and the care facilities that they're in. Again, hearing the burden that families have in trying to support their loved ones with their medical needs, that's something that we can step in and fill the void of additional midlife care, and it's really awesome to be able to do that.
I don't know your background a lot, so this is way different.
Yeah, way different. I know.
When he starts puking coffee ground, and Mrs. don't jump up and down just yet. Okay? They were in the hospital the last time. They were trying to fix him. I'm like, get him back. No, y'all don't do it. Don't do it, because they just read his voluminous stuff and they look back and they're like, oh well, yeah, this, and they're like, let's stop. Let's not do that, please. Let's send him home best we can.
Maintaining a relationship with your client's previous case manager is most beneficial because they've had them for however long, years most times, and they know the ins and outs. They've already met some of the challenges that you're going to experience with the patient. So just being able to pick up the phone and call him, or to get advanced tips on how to manage certain situations that might present with the client, is priceless information. So I think in building this whole business, relationships across the board become probably your most valuable asset.
Are you a nurse or not a nurse? No. No. Okay. You just want to jump in on this bandwagon, huh?
Well, I'm like,
Huh?
well, you mean the bandwagon of group homes?
Well, how did you decide you can get in on this? She talk you into it? She looks like she's your friend.
No, yeah, friend and cousin.
Oh, cousin? Okay.
So
y'all gonna do this together?
I dragged them in. So I heard about it from a friend, and I was just looking for something different to do with the properties. We had a couple in this neighborhood, and I wanted to switch them. I got into
licensing purposes, you can't have one closer than 1,000 feet from the other.
It's far enough.
Okay.
And it sounded like a decent idea, and my cousin was already a CNA, and so I was like, well, does this sound interesting to you? She said yes. But the deeper we got in, it just got deeper. Like, it was simple at first when I bought the house.
Seems simple, yeah.
And then as you progress, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you're in too deep and it's too late and you can't really back out. And they've moved their whole families up from Miami. And so now I have to keep going.
You're like, y'all the reason I'm doing this now, because I wanted out like 9 adjustments ago.
Yes,
Okay.
that part. But it was too late. They packed up their families, they moved here. I couldn't back out because it got scary for me. But they are comfortable, they understand all of that.
Let them do the medical
job to catch
thing.
up. And I'm admin. I do what I understand how to do.
We have 2 ladies that own our company. One's the other one's Dawn. Dawn can tell you what a G-tube versus a J-tube is, but she runs our business like there's no tomorrow. And then we have the ICU at ORMC in the 1970s with Dr. Ben Getz. And they tore down a wall between two adult ICU rooms and made it a 4-bed pediatric ICU. And that's her background. So she's on the phone whipping, asking questions. If you don't have your P's and Q's lined up, she drills down on you until you get an answer.
Well, that's the part. Between the three of us, we have something going. I can get houses, I can set up businesses, I can do applications and all of that stuff. Patient care's on it.
Alrighty. All right. We've been in business. I've been with 25 years. If you take care of your kids and document, then you'll never have a problem. And she's a trauma lady. She might not know a lot about documenting because they do a lot of crap, a lot real quick, and they get them out of the door.
The other one does, though.
Okay.
She did group home.
Yeah, that's good.
So they both spent some time in group home last year, just to prepare
Just
for
to do
this. But the other one has 10 years.
Okay.
I'll be calling you. I'll call you. Don't block my number.
I won't block your number.
Give me unlimited access for a month, and I'll let you go.
A couple of questions, so I'm all right with that. You have questions? She said she's gonna call me, so hey, ask me this or ask me that, okay?
Yes. Maybe that's fine your LPNs. They are missing in action.
Yes, they are. That's why I was working Thursday night Friday night.
I see.
Yes.
You could have told me that when I came there last month.
I'm gonna scare y'all.
Too late for that.
Find one. There's a certain little.
And you'll tell their friends?
Yeah, well, there's a certain little style of nurse that likes this type of job.
Okay.
So you won't find them in the trauma center too often.
Right.
And you may find them in a nursing home. They'll nursing home ones will come here and they're like, oh, this is easy work. I like this.
We got to start recruiting. Just go have some lunch near nursing homes and drop our cards off, deliver some cookies, something.
I don't know. I don't know how the nursing home is gonna feel about you poaching the people.
Maybe they'll get distracted by the cookies. I don't know.
We'll see.
But anyway,
Okay.
they're hard to find. We might hire 2 or 3 new nurses in 6 or 8 weeks, and that's about all we can do.
Yeah.
They're just super tight. Between the hospitals paying them $50 an hour and workforce just dwindling because they just got overrun by COVID and everything. The stress of it all.
Yeah.
They're dropping out of the workforce. So.
Well, I mean, that's why I feel like this has something that can really offer them a less stressful pathway
that's right.
to
just
still.
when you find that person.
Yeah.
We got people that are like, I work 4, 5, 6 days a week and I love this guy.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know. As long as my boss doesn't call me and tell me to go somewhere else, in which case I'll call you and tell you I'm going somewhere else.
Look me up with your boss. I want to meet her.
Well, she won't be in the office
I
tomorrow.
know, but
Okay.
Wingman.
Wingman. All right.
Teamwork makes the dreams work, Joe.
All right. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Y'all take good care of our kid.
You know it.
All right,
I'm
brother.
not with you.
Okay.
Oh dear. You get him up there baby talking him already? That's a grown and they baby talking. Don't disrespect with that baby talk. You find your new friends a pleasure to be around and that they are taking good care of you. I do miss you at the group home.
He's already forgotten.
I was just there the other day. Your old spot looked lonely.
No, he don't miss y'all.
Not to worry too much. We're expecting a new friend next week to fill that spot. Damn, just like that. They don't replace I was cleaning out my truck yesterday and found your insurance card. I'm sorry I didn't have the day you moved, but I'm happy to send it to you now. Okay, I gotta run. Tell your mom and new friends I said hi. Wish them well. Who's gonna read this to you? Who's gonna read it to him?
I love it. He really said that. Like,
He really said
he
that.
really wrote all that up. That's what's up. That's what's up.